Hey, hello and welcome back to my stream. My name is Jason, also known as Dragon Moment, and today I am back hunting for 3-segment Dudunsparce on Pokemon Violet for a shiny one to add to my shiny living decks, which I am very nearly done with on Scarlet and Violet. There's just the 2 special forms I've got left and some extras of the starters, and once that's done, I'll be moving on to another game to shiny hunt on, which I have been trying to work out this past week. I just cracked on a normal type sandwich to get started. The normal shiny power. Can count this anything? I'll be heading back into Area 0 to do my usual route. Okay. Right, so since last week, my last stream, I've mostly been playing around with Legends Arceus just to see about what I want to do on there with that shiny hunt. Right, usually there's a cluster in the middle. I've managed to get one new shiny since last week for my living decks, which was Baneri, which was annoyingly timed because I was literally like one attack away from completing Lopunny, which was the other one I could use. So I needed either of the 2. I was literally one task away from completing or perfecting the Pokedex entry for Lopunny when I encountered Baneri. So that's that off the list. So I've just got Cherubi or Cherim and 2 Togepi or Togetic, or Togekiss, but Togekiss doesn't spawn. Left to get from that, Legends Arceus, plus the unknowns that I'm still working on, but they're a bit more time consuming. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how good that's going to be to stream. So I probably will be streaming that on Wednesday, but that's probably just going to be more of a random shiny hunt, just doing random outbreaks and stuff just to see how many shinies I can get. It's not more of a sort of warm up for Pokemon Day, I guess, because we should be getting some more news about Legends ZA on Thursday with the Pokemon Day Presents. And once we know more about that, hopefully we'll have a release window or even a release date for that. Maybe even some new Pokemon revealed that will be included in the game, which will allow me to work out what I want to do a bit better going forward. And that's a shiny very quickly. Quick start today. But yeah, so hoping to get a better idea of what I want to be doing going forward from this Pokemon Day Presents. Oh no, that's not the ball I wanted to use. But it works anyhow, the colour actually looks right. And from Premier Ball, but oh well. The pink works. Whatever. Oh, no. Anarchist too much. No. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons again. Right, I'll evolve that at the end of the sandwich. But yeah, so the main thing we're expecting from the Pokemon Presents is Legends ZA news. So they'll probably announce a whole load of events and stuff for other games that personally I doubt I'll be interested in a lot of them. A lot of them are fairly same old, same old. If they announce a Tandem Mouse event, that would be amazing. I would love that for my final hunt on Scarlet Violet. But kind of unlikely. So they might do something themed to whatever they reveal for Legends EA. So don't know what that'll be yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But so until we know more, can't really sort of holding off planning too far ahead. So the problem with the remaining shiny hunts I've got on Legends Arceus is that they're all skittish, so it makes them very difficult to use the permutations method to shiny hunt on them, because you can't multi-battle them. They will just run off. And I've tried repeatedly, I've tried different ways to get them to multi-battle, they just won't work. So even Unknown just refuse to multi-battle. A lot of the time it's extremely difficult to get it to multi-battle, so the permutations method doesn't look like that's going to work at all for me. Well, there is one method I found when you get the second wave of an outbreak, if it's aggressive, I can use permutations on that, but there's very few variations you can do. I think there's only about 8 variations you can do on that, which doesn't really give you many more options than what you already get, and the amount of time it takes to do it isn't really worth it. So, because I have been trying that out, didn't get a shiny from it, and it was just a pain in the arse to do. So, so that doesn't look like it's going to be an option for me to do that, so I'm just going to go with random ones. Togepi and Togekiss, Togetic, that shouldn't be a major issue because they spawn in mass outbreaks in the coastal area. So they should be fine. So I'm not too worried about them. It's the others that are the issue. Cherubi appears in mass outbreaks, not massive mass outbreaks. So they are a lot rarer to see. And once again, they can't really be done the permutations for. So they're going to be a hard one to get. I've been checking trees as well, so in the Crimson Islands area. I've learnt all the trees. There's 5 trees they can spawn on potentially in that area, and I've sort of been doing a route where I hit those 5 trees to see if they're shaking. So I've perfected their dex entries, both Cherubi and Cherim, but not got a shiny yet. So I only need one of them, but it is going to be a bit more fiddly to get them. So they're going to be a tough one, just like Unknown. So fortunately, both them and Unknown spawn in the same area, so when I'm doing my fly round for Unknown, I can fly around for Cherubi and Cherim at the same time. But that does make it a bit slower to do, so it's because they're a bit further from the spawn point. So Unknown is fairly easy, you can just quickly fly into the ruins and then teleport back to the entrance. But when you're flying around to 5 different trees each time, it's quite a bit slower. So I don't know how well that will go. So I'll probably be doing that a bit on Wednesday when I'm doing that stream. But so I'll mostly just be focusing on mass outbreaks and massive mass outbreaks to just see if I get some random shinies, just just for a bit of fun. If I do get one of the ones I'm after, that'd be great. So I'll be focusing my searches if multiple outbreaks show up at the same time. I will be focusing on the coast and the islands. Because that's got my best bet, so the massive mass outbreaks have the best chance for getting a Togepi on the coast and an unknown in the Mylands, because unknown can spawn in massive mass outbreaks. Cherubi, sorry, is in the Fieldlands, is it? The first area. Obsidian Fieldlands, that's what it was. I can't remember all the names of them. It does appear in its mass outbreak, appears in the Obsidian Fieldlands. And I think it only appears on like 2 trees there or something like that, which isn't great for normal hunting. Hence I was going to the Mylands. I think technically the best spot for them from trees is Coronet Highlands. But there isn't anything else I want there, so just going there just for those is a bit... Actually, I'm not entirely sure. It might be that the Mylands has the best number of trees as well. It'll be close between the two, I think. Thinking about it. Another shiny. That's 2 from the first damage already. This is going great. Come back here. But yeah, so I'm sort of planning out what I'm going to do on that stream, just to sort of try and do something a bit more interesting for Legends Arceus, but I doubt I'll be streaming that too much. So I'm trying to work out what to do on Wednesdays mainly, so I can continue doing Scarlet and Violet on Mondays, but doing it these sort of very restricted hunts on both Mondays and Wednesdays, I think I will get a bit tiring, so I want to break it up a bit by doing something else on Wednesdays. So, since I started on these Dudunsparce, I have been doing the Pikmin Squared playthrough, which I finished last week. So that was only 3 weeks it took me. I probably could have done it. What am I doing now? I probably could have done it in 2 if I'd hurried a bit more, but that was a lot of fun. So it's just a shame that there's not more sort of fan mod game modes like that, other than the sort of randomizer ones. At least not that I'm aware of. So if anyone knows of them, let me know. So I'd definitely be interested in giving them a go. But that's one it's only recently been released. I've seen quite a few people were covering it, so I first saw it on Press A, and Tom and Dan, I think it is. Another shiny. Wow, I'm doing amazingly today. This is off to a great start. After last time I got 2 shinies for the entire stream, and I've already got 3 on the first sandwich. This is going a hell of a lot better. But yeah, so I'm done on stuff for Wednesdays at the moment, so Legends Arceus will be my next sort of one to try out, and it makes sense with Pokemon Day on Thursday, when we should be getting Legends EA news, so that makes sense, so it's relevant. After that, I may do Let's Go. I'll need to get a bit of practice in that again first, because I haven't played that in a while. But I've only got 5 to actually shiny hunt on that properly left, so it's kind of restricted just to Gen 1, and I've got most of Gen 1 multiple times already. So it's only 5 things I can actually hunt for properly. and there are 5 things that, after it was mentioned last time about the Pokemon Go symbol, and I want to get rid of that for my living decks, it was mentioned that those transferred through Let's Go don't have that symbol, so I've been looking into that, but unfortunately there's only 5 Pokemon that I can actually transfer over that way, 4 of which will be additions to my living deck. Well, 5 Pokemon that I can't obtain easily any other way without sort of awkward breeding, or Masuda method breeding, which, if I'm going to be Masuda method breeding, I'd rather do something that I can't get easily. So by transferring from Pokemon Go is easy. So it's still not ideal, but if it works, it works. So I can spend the time doing something better, but so there's 4 that I could breed for, but would be easier to just transfer over, and 1 that it's Melmetal, that will act as just a replacement for one that has the Pokemon Go stamp. So I assume Melmetal can be. I've transferred Meltan through it before now, just not Melmetal. So I assume that'll work. I think I have transferred Melmetal through it actually, just not a shiny one. That's probably it. But yeah, I'll need to have a go on Let's Go to refamiliarise myself with the controls and everything, and the catch method. I don't want to encounter a shiny and then fail it because I can't remember how to play the game. So I'll probably have a bit of a practice at that this next week. So that might be next week. Might be next week I do Let's Go. So I don't know how quickly I'll be able to get the shinies that I need, but we'll see. The transfers I probably won't do on stream, I'll probably just do them off stream just because it's a fairly straightforward thing to do. Yeah, so that's my plan for the immediate future. So after that, so once I'm done with Let's Go, Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet, once I'm done with those games, the only shinies I'll have left will be stuff that I could breed for on previous games. So I could breed for some on Sword and Shield, but I find breeding a bit boring to stream. So I've seen people streaming breeding before. I don't find it that interesting, so I'd rather not do it myself. I was going to say because I'm just running around in a circle, but that's literally what I'm doing now. At least as I'm doing this, I'm looking out for something. I'm actively searching for a shiny as I'm doing this, but when you're running around in a circle, you're not really doing much. It's fairly simple stuff. So, so I could alternate between like Dudunsparce on Mondays and Tandemaus on Wednesdays, but that might be an option, but I'm not too sure if I'll want to do that or not. So keep one hunt like this on the go at a time, because they are a bit tiring, to be honest. But what got left on there? I got through already, I'm barely halfway through. But, yeah, so that's sort of that plan, but so I don't know what to do after that. So if Legends Arceus, if Legends Z8 is coming out sooner, I may try and crack on with the shiny hunts more to try and get them done before then. So I might do Tandemaus on Wednesdays, just to try and clear through it as quick as possible. If not, and the release date is announced for being later in the year, I may take a more laid back approach to it and look for something else to play. There is one game that I'm thinking of streaming right now, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. With Xenoblade Chronicles X coming out on the Switch soon, the definitive edition I think it is. I'm thinking it might have some relevance to attract viewers maybe, but I may start my playthrough on it, so it's kind of an annoying one. Xenoblade is a game that I procrastinate over a lot. I will play it and then get hung up doing side quests that I probably shouldn't be doing at that point in the game, and I end up wasting a lot of time doing things I shouldn't be doing on it, or I can't do at that point, rather, and I end up getting so held up on it I don't actually progress the game, and then something else comes along. Another shiny! There we go! Well, this is... No, you don't! He tried to make a break for it. But yeah, so... Xenoblade I will stall on and not progress the story. And then another game will come along that I want to play more, and I'll start playing that instead. So, and then I'll forget about Xenoblade, and that kept happening with the previous games. So Xenoblade, the original Chronicles, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. All three of them I've done that on repeatedly, and maybe I'll be better at that if I'm streaming, and I won't let myself do that as much when I'm streaming. Don't check I saved. So maybe I won't do it as much while I'm streaming, but hard to really say. So it's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I got it. I still hadn't finished 2, so I had to go back and finish 2 before I want to start 3. And I finished 2, and then got distracted by something else, so I never actually started on 3. I think it might have been the Scarlet Violet DLC that came out at that point. I can't remember. Something came out at that point, and I got distracted by it. Might have even been Scarlet Violet itself. I can't remember. I'll have to check the dates when stuff was released. But I'm pretty sure it was something Pokemon that would distract me that much. That's usually the case. Sort of seeing stuff dropping off the edge. But yeah, I'm thinking that might be one to go for. It is a very long game, from what I understand. So it will probably take me a while to finish on stream, which means I might just progress through story stuff on stream, possibly do side quests off stream maybe, but I don't know. I'll it's an option. So I may only stream it briefly, and if it's not really working as a stream game for me, then I might stop once I reach a certain point and switch over to something else maybe. Not entirely sure. So another thing I could try streaming is, that I've been thinking of, is Mario Kart with the Switch 2 release coming up. Might be worth getting a bit of practice in at Mario Kart before then. Mario Kart is something I could probably play with viewers quite easily. So could give that a shot. So I don't really play online that much, so I usually only play when I have a friend round and we play together, which just rather than just racing against each other, we race online. So when we've got more than one friend, round, we play all of us, but when it's just the two of us, tend to play online, as that's a bit more interesting. But I'm not actually sure if I've 3-starred all the cups on DX yet. Thinking about it. So I had it on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8, and I know I done all the cups 3-star there, but I don't remember if I could be bothered to do it when it came out as DX. I think I unlocked all the kart parts and then just left it. So that could be something I could do, just 3-starring the remaining cups on Mario Kart 8 DX Deluxe. I don't know why I was calling it DX when it's actually called Deluxe from DX, but whatever. Yeah, that's another option. So I could do that in the run-up to the Switch 2 release to get myself warmed up for the new Mario Kart. So we shouldn't be getting more news about that until early April. So that's still over a month away now. Only just over a month away, so that's not too bad. I have seen that, which I'm guessing is going to relate to the Switch 2. The Nintendo Club, at least in Europe anyhow, does its gold points system to get free things from the club and stuff, whatnot. You can claim it as points towards eShop purchases and things like that. I don't know if they have that in every country, but they have it here. And but they're actually discontinuing the gold points distribution as of the end of March, I believe it is. Yeah, March 25th. I just stopped to check the date of that. Pulled it up. Yeah, so they're cancelling that March 25th, which coincidentally is about a week before the Switch 2 Direct is going to be. So I'm guessing they're probably going to be announcing some sort of new system that will accompany the Switch 2, and it'll essentially replace the old point system. They've already replaced it before now. They had, I think it was a stars system they had originally. Then they replaced it with these points, or coins, or whatever they're called. Whichever it is. Is there an item over there I've never picked up? Yes, there is. Oh, you. Well, I just fall right the way down at that point. Right, that's helpful. Oh well, because I'm going back to here. Yeah, so I'm guessing they're going to be announcing some sort of new point system or loyalty system of some description with the Switch 2, which with everything being so close together, so that's sort of leading more to my suspicion that it's coming out sooner rather than later. So if it was later, then I think they would announce the discontinuation alongside the announcement of the new system. But as they're discontinuing the system completely before they even announced the new system, I think the new system's coming in sooner. And they're just getting things started so that it's ready to transfer over properly once the Switch 2 comes out, which I think is only going to be a very short space of time. A couple of minutes left on this. So that's definitely pointing more towards the Switch 2 coming out sooner rather than later. So if that is the case, then playing Mario Kart a bit more probably isn't a bad shout, just to get some practice in. So when I get the Switch 2, that would probably be something for me to stream, just playing through any new games I get for that. So Mario Kart I probably will end up streaming, as that's going to be one of the main games for it, and I will be playing it anyhow, so There's definitely that. Whether or not I can resist playing it before streaming is another question. I might get started on it and then come on stream to continue it. So Mario Kart's something you can fairly easily sort of do as a mix between the two, so online and offline, or off stream. So I might sort of progress through the cups a bit at first, so depending on how they work. But we don't even know what game modes they're going to have. So I have a suspicion they might be doing a new game mode. It might be that I do one game mode on stream, one game mode off stream, sort of thing, just to unlock things. But we'll have to see. So I won't know more about that until it's properly announced. Which is just over a month's time. So it'll be Legends ZA that we hear from first, so that'll be the one for me to plan around first. So yeah, that's my plan. Oh, and we've ended. That item's going to bug me if I don't go get it now. Where was it? Pretty sure I saw it from up there. It's just a random platform. Things like that will bug me to no end. So I do just want to go grab that. Oh, outrage. Whoop. That's lag. What do I want to do? What? How have I missed items around here? Where do they respawn? I don't know. Anyway. First things first. Save. So I've got some evolutions to do. 4 of them, which... 1 sandwich, that's pretty good. So let's see if any of these are 3 segment. So I'm still only about a quarter probability, so... there we go, there we are. One shot. Just give them all hyper drill. What else has been going on this week? We had the Paradox legendaries essentially this weekend, which I didn't bother doing any of them, so I've already got both of them on both games, so didn't see the point in doing any more, so I was sort of concentrating on other things anyhow. We've got the... just started today, we've got the warm-up for... or the road to and over, or whatever it's called. The lead up to the Pokemon Go Tour event that's going on in Pokemon Go. John. So I'll be busy this coming weekend with the Pokemon Go Tour event, trying to get the last shinies I need from Unova, and doing any tasks for that. Yeah, so that's starting this week, so seems like a fairly straightforward build-up, so nothing really special. Bit disappointed by the special abilities that Black and White Kyurem get, so I think they're a bit disappointing compared to some of the others. Oops. So the others seem a lot more useful abilities compared to these ones, and so it's Bit disappointing, but it is what it is. So, nope. So I'm not sure how much value they're actually going to have to me or anything. So I still haven't actually properly looked through all the stuff you get from the event challenges. So usually it's somewhat good, but so they're giving away shiny Meloetta, which could be useful. I mean, I do need another one for my living decks, but it is a Pokemon Go one, so it's like, and I'm not even sure if you can transfer it from Pokemon Go yet, which is another annoying thing. Nope. Well, 4 shinies from 1 sandwich, pretty good. Even if none of them did evolve into 3 segments, so that's already a very good start. I save a lot. It's just a habit and precaution I do. Right. Be going on to the next box soon. There's the button. It's because I've been playing Legends Arceus this week. I've different controls in each game. It confuses me. Yeah, so that's what's going on with Pokemon Go at the moment. So I'll have a proper look through. I need to work out what shinies I still need from Unova as well. What new ones are being added. They had the Spuper event the other week, which was really pointless. That just seemed like such a waste. I'm not a fan of how they've added Spuper into the game, only being through the postcards. But it's very disappointing. I didn't even pick up any postcards to just try and even get a shiny Spuper. I just didn't bother. I've got them all in this already, so... And it's always been a hassle to actually get the postcards and sort through the postcards, and my postcards are full, and I just don't have the patience to fiddle about with the postcards. It's the same thing on Pikmin Bloom. They have a postcard system, and I just don't even bother with it. Before doing my next sandwich, I'm just going to have a quick drink because of my tickly throat, so give me a sec. Okay. Right. Crack the picnic out. Multiple words muddled off in my head there. Oops. Right. Salty and sour, and sorbet. Anyway. Oop. I was watching a bit of the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour this weekend as well. But I didn't actually watch, I just sort of looked at the results. Fairly unsurprising which 3 decks were most dominant. The most powerful decks in the format at the moment, which is very tedious because I'm not really interested in playing any of them. So, unless you're playing one of those decks, you're going to have a very tough time with it. Because those 3 decks are quite a bit more powerful than most other decks. They have very good matchups against most decks. And from what I can tell, if you want a decent chance of beating any of them, you've basically got to be playing one of them. So it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. So you're I'd either be playing a deck that I don't really want to play, or I'd be losing 2 decks that I don't really want to play. I still like my landfall deck, but it is a bit inconsistent. So I played it on Friday, and first round I played a guy that I always hate facing because I always get terrible luck against him. I should have better matchups against him, but I always get terrible luck against him. It's like every time, every card I draw is the worst possible card to draw at that moment. And it's just so depressing to just keep having that happen. It's like, okay, I just need to draw anything other than this one card. Oh, I drew that one card. Great. I'm just done. I can't do anything. Other people play the same deck, and I can actually hold out against them quite well. But that one guy, just every time, it's the same thing happens, and it's just frustrating as hell. But it is what it is. So. Now, unfortunately, we had an odd number, so round 2 I got the bye on Friday. And round 3 I faced a guy who plays a deck that I just hate, because he plays an aggro deck. He is building a different deck, he just didn't have it finished for this week, so I'm not too worried about it if he's not going to be playing it as much. But that deck is about a bit, it's just not as popular at our shop because it doesn't have the best matchups against the other top decks. So it's basically aggro. So he's playing a Boros version of aggro, which I think is a bit outdated now, but it still holds up against most of us. The new build for it is the Gruul aggro, which is one of the top decks, and I just don't have a good matchup against it. My deck is too slow to get started against it. I need to sideboard heavily in order to have a chance, which I did this week. So game 1 I was basically going to die anyhow. I was basically going to lose that one regardless, because I cannot hold up against that without sideboarding. It is just too fast. And then game 2 I sideboarded heavily, drew exactly the wrong removal spells every time. Well, actually, I drew the same removal spell 3 times. I only had 3 copies in the deck. I sideboarded them in. There was, I think, 7 or 8 other removal spells in the deck that I'd either already in there or I'd sideboarded in. Most of those would have done the trick and would have allowed me to come back and hold up against him, but I kept drawing the same one I'd already cast, and that just done me in. I could not hold up against that in the slightest. So many other cards would have worked instead. I just kept drawing the same one. So it's a 60 card deck, drawing the same card 3 times when there's only 3 copies in the deck. That's what my luck was like last week. So I did not have good luck last week. So bad matchups, bad luck with the shiny hunting on Monday. So I've been thinking about tweaking my deck with some cards from the new set, which was released a couple of weeks back. But I'm not too sure if those cards will actually help my deck or not, or if it will just be a novelty. So I could try them, but the problem is when I went to see about trying them, I didn't actually have most of them. So, and annoyingly, in my pros packs, I actually got one of the ones I needed. So it's like, do I try it now or don't I try it now? And seeing the Pro Tour results, it's like, I'm not going to be able to hold up against these either way. And I was looking around at the decks on Friday, there were 7 of us there. It's a bit of a low turnout. I think some people were holding off until Pro Tour had been on, to know what decks were good and what weren't, or to get ideas for decks to play and that sort of thing. But yeah, it just didn't. There was an odd number, 7 of us. I think 3 people were playing a blink deck, or variations of the blink decks. I think there's Demir, Bounce, I think it's referred to as, and Esper Pixie, which both are just about flickering your own creatures or your own enchantments, more like bouncing your own enchantments. You bounce the enchantment back to your hand, then recast it to get the effect again, and you just loop it. It gives you card advantage and removal consistently, or hand tape, whatever you need at the time. You've got it, and it's a very solid deck, and it's very difficult for other decks to deal with, which is what I faced. So that was the deck I faced in the first round. I do have ways around it, I just didn't draw any of it, and that was just frustrating. But say 3 of the 7 decks people were playing that deck, and there were 2 playing basically aggro decks or burn decks, which they're just very fast decks, just red based fast damage. Difficult for me to keep up with because I'm a bit of an odd deck. I'm a little bit slower to get started, but I then hit for a lot very quickly, which basically a ramp deck. My deck doesn't really fall into a traditional archetype, but if I had to say it was anything, it is a bit of a ramp deck. But, so the Demir or Esper, Bounce, Pixies, whatever deck, that's more of a control deck, I guess, which I'm not a fan of that sort of thing. I don't like control, it takes too long. We had games going to time every round on Friday, and faster decks facing off against one another, or just in general. We were finishing and we were just standing around for half an hour waiting for them to finish because they were going to time and having to go into turns, and it was just taking so long to actually finish games, and it was just so boring. So I do not like control decks, don't like aggro decks, because the only thing I find about aggro deck is that it is more of a case of just play whatever card you draw. Just everything's cheap, everything can be played quickly, and you just everything does something in the deck just cheap, and it's like you just, as long as you've got like a couple of cards to get going with in your starting hand, whatever you draw is good. It just goes together and you get started and you can just go, and just that sort of, it's just extremely consistent and just very difficult to stop because it goes off so quickly. But I forgot my deck one week and I borrowed one from someone. I went like 2-1 with it, and that was purely, and I didn't know the deck at all, but it just sort of plays itself, and I found it so boring that it just played itself. It just takes such a little thought to actually play it. I mean, there's the case of playing it and playing it well. I mean, if I'd known the deck better, I could probably have won the last game that I lost, but that one time. But it's just, I just find them too simple. I like decks which are a bit more complicated to play, and you have to sort of plan ahead for and think through a bit. And annoyingly, if that gets interrupted and you can't do what you're planning to do, it does sort of fall apart. But I like decks where I can pivot to different options, and if one thing doesn't work, then chances are something else will be ready to go straight after it. So I can also mislead my opponents into thinking I'm doing something and then end up doing something else. But what's annoying is if I plan for something, try and do that game plan, don't manage to get it to go off without my opponent doing anything, And the distraction that would otherwise have been my backup, that they did see coming, they stopped. So I play something just as a distraction, but then I realise I need it to actually have a chance, and they stop it anyhow before I even get to that point. So, but it happens. It happens. So I'm more of a combo player. We had one person at the shop declared themselves as the premier combo player at the shop, and it's like, no, you're not. No one at the shop calls them that. They probably are one of the worst combo players at the shop. And it was really funny. We were all in disbelief when we heard that they'd called themselves that. I think it was someone who wasn't a regular at the shop, and they're talking to them, and they just declared themselves that they were the premier combo player at the shop. It's like, we heard, and I think one person overheard it, and then they told the rest of us, and we were just like in disbelief. It was so funny, just the way we all just chimed in. Was like, no, they're not. I was like, if anything, I'm more of a combo player, and I don't even, at the time, I wasn't even calling myself a combo player. I do tend to play combo. I've tried ramp more than anything, but ramp is more of a combo thing. You ramp into a combo is what I end up doing a lot of the time. So ramp into stompy, ramp into combo. I'd consider myself more of a ramp player, but as a result I am more of a combo player because stompy isn't really a thing at the moment. So I'm sort of defaulting to ramp combo decks. But it was just so funny that everyone just chimed in at the exact same thing. They are not a combo player. They are not a premier combo player. If we were to call anyone at the shop's premier combo player, it's this one guy who would only play combo decks. He hasn't been in a while, but the only decks he played were combo decks. And he came up with the weirdest, wildest combo decks you could possibly think of. And done well with them. But no one else would be able to come up with those combos or get those combos to work. Yet he did. It's like, he's the shop's premier combo player. So I'm more of a combo player than the other person was, but he would be the shop's premier combo player, even though he doesn't show up anymore, or hasn't shown up in a while. I think he's popped in from time to time just to sort of say hi and pick up some orders and stuff, but so people drift in and out of Magic a lot. I was just thinking I was about to say, as sets come in and out, I just remembered about what sets we've got coming up this year. We've got, I think Dragonstorm Tarkir or something like that is the next set that's to be released, which is going to have a lot of dragons, so I'm hoping that might have some sort of green stompy stuff that I could work with in that. Maybe some landfall with sort of elemental stuff going on, which could be something that I could work with. So a lot of people are just excited for dragons because they like big, dangerous things. Whether or not they'll actually work in the current environment of the format, don't know, because some of these decks at the moment are very annoying to deal with. So we'll have to see about that. That's the next set that's coming out, but the set that's currently pre-ordering a lot is the following set, which is Final Fantasy. It's part of their Universes Beyond collection. So they've done a few. I think the only proper set, well, they done the Lord of the Rings set was a modern set, so that was only legal in Modern and Commander, or older formats. That was released a couple of years back and broke the modern format because it was a modern set. Modern sets always break the format. They are very badly balanced every time. It's basically their way of selling modern cards, because modern's where the money is. That's where all the expensive cards are, so they just release all these expensive products to get in more money. Just use the Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings also appealed to collectors, fans of the Lord of the Rings series, but there were certain cards that just went ridiculous. So there's the iconic The One Ring that I think Post Malone owns now for like millions of pounds or millions of dollars. He bought it for or something stupid like that. But I actually had someone turn up on Thursday to play Modern who actually still had that in his deck. That just obviously not the One Ring, but just regular copies of the One Ring. And he still had it in his deck, even though it got banned a few months back. And it's like, ooh. That guy's done that a couple of times. He's turned up with decks that aren't legal. And he made a bit of a stupid protest about it, saying like, oh, how was I supposed to know? I'll just swap in these other cards and be fine with it. And it's like, that's not what the rules say. If you show up with illegal cards, you have to swap them out for basic lands. Oh, but I don't want to. It's like, well, tough. If you don't want to do that, then you can't play. Why can't I just sideboard it, put in my sideboard cards? So it was... This whole argument went down. But he's done that before. He doesn't sort of check that sort of thing, and he just turns up just with any old deck and he just expects us to be able to play it when you can't just do that. You have to make sure it's legal. So he's done that in events before now. So I annoyingly had run into him when I first got back into Magic after I'd been to uni. I stopped playing Magic while I was at uni, came back, started playing again, took part in an event, which I think was my first Modern event, or sort of big Modern event at the shop since I got back into Magic. I had a really quirky deck, which surprisingly worked really well at the time. It just had a really good matchup against most of the other decks being played, and in our store championship or whatever it was, first round I faced this guy and lost because he was playing these cards that were just really powerful, and I was like, that is really good. I'm surprised no one else is playing those cards. Not realising they were banned. They were banned when I was not playing Magic, so I didn't know about the banning. So I didn't realise it, didn't call him up on it, so I lost the game because I couldn't hold up against these cards. And which was unfortunate. And he ended up dropping out because he wanted to play that deck, and being a high level event, he refused to play if he couldn't play with those cards because they were so powerful. Obviously he knew he wouldn't have a chance without them, but he ended up dropping out, which messed up my standing. I won every game after that, but because I lost that game and he ended up basically coming bottom place, my one loss was to the worst player statistically at the event, which put me down in the standings, stopped me from getting into the top 8, and I'd actually beaten a couple of people in the top 8 already during the earlier rounds, and I knew I could beat a lot of the others because I'd beaten them at events before now. And it was really frustrating that I could have done really well in this event, but didn't get a chance to because he was playing with banned cards, and I didn't realise it. So when the shop, the setup the shop had at the time, it was very tucked away and awkward with different rooms and stuff we were using. So the shop hadn't been open that long, and so we didn't really get much spectating going on, because when we played our game we were tucked away in the back room just because there wasn't space elsewhere. So no one was really watching what was going on in our game, but as soon as he played his next game, you can't play that card, that's banned. Oh. So that was an annoying event. And oh, same thing happened again. He comes to an event with banned cards. So F&M is at a lower level than store championship sort of things, so they did end up just so he wouldn't just walk out, and he would actually finish playing the event, because we needed the numbers, and it would mess up all our matchings and everything. Just so he wouldn't just leave. They did let him put in his sideboard cards in the end, even though they shouldn't have done, because that's not in the rules, but I doubt they'll let that happen again. And then they've said you really need to check in the future when you bring a deck like this. He obviously hadn't played it in a while. Turns up at an event just expecting it to work, and it didn't, so... Yeah, I think he ended up losing every other game after that, because he was counting on that one card again. But so the one ring that he was playing. I done better on Thursday, so on Modern. I messed up in the first round. I should have won the first round game. Didn't. I think I ended up winning the next 2 rounds. I think actually I got a bye. I got a bye again in one of the rounds. But actually, it might have been the first round I got the bye, and then won. Oh no, I lost the next one, won the third one. But the one I lost, I should have won. I made a mistake. I attacked when I shouldn't have done. They double blocked. I lost the creature. I needed the creature to stay in. Simple as that. It was a silly mistake. I basically had the win on board. I could have won next turn if I hadn't done that. Which is a shame, but it happens. So, oh well. But yeah, my luck on Friday was just terrible. So I ducked out before the actual event ended because I needed to get my earlier bus home. So we were done so early because he was playing the fast deck. I think we were done in like 10 minutes or something stupid like that, just 'cause it just goes off so quick. I can't keep up with that. But yeah. So, comes and goes the luck, so... Like with this sandwich. First one getting 4, this one hasn't got a single one yet. Unless I've just been blind to them. What time have we got left? 7 minutes, yeah. We're going to go through the second sandwich without getting a single shiny. Which balances out with the first sandwich, so... I've already got more than the entire last stream. So I'll probably get a couple more sandwiches done today. We've got to be finishing about 5:30, so... Once this one's done, I'll crack another one. Unless I get the shiny first, in which case I'll evolve first and then crack another one. I don't know why I say crack a sandwich. Crack out a sandwich? I don't know. Where did that term come from, crack out? Has to do with eggs, crack out or something. I'm holding my controller funny and lost feeling in a couple of fingers. So that's not good. Do not know why that happens. Yes. Another game I'm playing recently was Talos Principle. I'd bought the DLC on that when it was on sale a while back, and finally got around to playing it, so didn't think it would be worth doing on stream because solving some of the puzzles can be a bit time-consuming and tedious, and do like the puzzle games, but that in particular I thought might be a bit slow going at times. So I didn't, and it's a bit of an old game anyhow, so the older games tend not to get that much interest, so decided not to stream it, just sort of play it on my own time. I'd already played the main game years ago, so I just picked it up for the DLC. So there's Talos Principle 2 out now, so I could play that if I want. I could pick that up and play that if I wanted to. So, but I'm waiting for that to come down in price a bit, so I might get it on sale. Which is when I got the DLC. I got that on sale. But, yeah, good fun game. So got a bit stuck at times. I think I tended to get stuck on the stupider puzzles. So, ones I shouldn't really got stuck on, I think I got stuck on. I think I started overthinking things and made mistakes, done things I shouldn't have done, and sort of got myself tied up. Which is kind of stupid, but still a fun game. Yeah, finished that the other night. Played some games with my friends again last night. We've been trying to work out what games to get, but we've been struggling to actually coordinate what we want to do. I'll be posting in our group chat and no one responds, or one person responds. Then no one else does. One of the others, he responds, but not to the things that you want him to respond to. So if someone tells a joke or says something stupid, he'll respond to that, but when you're trying to get input and feedback, he just doesn't reply. So you're trying to get an answer out of him and he just doesn't say anything, but if you say something stupid or make a comment on it, it's just like, really? Can you just answer the damn question? He didn't even realise we were playing this week. Even though I thought he'd posted since we agreed to it. Saw one pop up with the pink light around it. He was just oblivious to the fact we agreed to play anything, but he was free anyhow, so he joined in. But played a bit of golf with your friends again. It's always a fun one for us. I seem to have got the hang of that now, so my scores have been getting a lot better lately. So the past few times we've played, I've been getting quite good scores and getting a lot more holes in one and getting shots that the others struggle on. There's still holes that I really struggle on, but there's ones that if you mess up your first shot, you're going to find it difficult to come back from, but I say but a lot, don't I? I think it's sort of a nervous tick just trying to think of the next thing to say, so try and link things together. Use the word but. Yeah, so we were playing that most of the time. We also played some Scribble. It was just a random suggestion that came up at the time. Because we hadn't coordinated any games to play. One of the others had bought one of the games, because he said, oh yeah, let's play this, and he just went and bought it. We hadn't agreed to play it, so I don't know if the others even want to play it. So it was one of my suggestions, Phasmophobia. So I'd suggested it. So I'd seen it played a lot. I'd suggested it before, but it was still early days then. It's now got a lot of updates, so it's looking pretty good. So I thought it would be worth us giving it a go. And they were up for it. I think the only reason we didn't play it before was because it was only 4-player, but we struggled to get all 5 of us together anyhow, so why not add a couple of 4 players into the mix? he wanted to play it, so he said, "Oh yeah, let's play this," and he just bought it. And then I said, and I didn't even realise he'd bought it. And when we were struggling to actually work out what to play, sort of last minute, I said, "You know what? We've probably got a Steam sale coming up soon, so we can just wait till then to get something." And he says, "Oh, I've already bought this." Oh well, we didn't agree to play it, so you just went and bought it on your own. Which, oh, sandwich is finished. That was no shinies from that sandwich. I think. I'm not misremembering it, am I? No. Right. Get the ingredients back. Restart. He just went ahead and got it anyhow. So we'll probably end up playing Phasmophobia at some point. So I've been playing Lethal Company, but so they're getting a bit bored of that, and trying to get everyone to install the correct mods is going to be a nightmare if we try and play it modded. So, leaving off that at the moment. We might try mods for Lethal Company at some point. But, one of our group, who's the one that's most difficult to play with, because he's quite busy, so we don't get to play with him all that much. He's using my old laptop, which isn't great for playing stuff, so it held up at the time and isn't too bad, but trying to do stuff with newer games, it is going to struggle. So, yeah, we've been holding off with the mods for Lethal Company. But Phasmophobia, the others quite like the look of, so it's a bit different. So they don't like that it's another spooky game, but annoyingly most of the popular multiplayer games on Steam and stuff are spooky ones. It's like, you get a few others, but they're just not as good. They just don't look as fun. With the scary ones, you get to mess with your friends. So, yeah, we'll probably be playing that in a few weeks' time when that's on sale. So I think the spring sale's coming up. I think I looked up, it was the 13th to 20th. So I might get some other games at the same time. Oops. So there's some other games I was thinking of getting at some point, so if they're on sale, I might pick them up during the spring sale. There's something else to do, but I've still got a bit of a backlog of games to go through, to be honest. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. There's an example of that. Yeah, see what happens with that. Yeah, we ended up playing Scribble in between golf sessions, which was just a random suggestion. I think he said it as a joke, but we were all like, actually, yeah, let's give it a go. So we ended up playing that a few rounds. Problem was, one of them just could not figure a lot of them out. Even if they were typed in to the entry box, because you can see incorrect guesses others have given. And even if we'd misspelt them, you could see what we were trying to spell and then immediately got the correct answer. So he could have guessed that what the answer was from that, but he didn't. He could not figure it out. It was really funny watching him struggle. There were some that I got ridiculously quick, and I think I just used odd logic to figure it out. So at one point, my friend, one of my friends, drew a man with a gun, and I was like, man with a gun? And I saw that the letters were 5 and 4, and I was like, wait a minute, it's going to be James Bond or something like that. And I just typed in James Bond and got it straight away. Just I thought, oh, this is going to be a character. We already had characters at some point. Oh, this is going to be a character. And I just guessed James Bond, and it was right. How the hell did you guess that from that? He then added the circle and then coloured the background black and then the circle in red to make it look like the barrel sight, whatever you want to call it, that you have at the start of all the James Bond films. But and then one of the others got it. The last person. He ended up typing in. He finally got it with seconds left on the clock, but he didn't actually manage to input it. I don't think. I think he put James Bonad. So is that drawing of James Bond, which I got quite quickly, but probably isn't the best drawing of James Bond in the world. None of our drawings were the best, were particularly great, to be honest. And so that is now James Bonad. So had quite a bit of a laugh at that at the time. Yeah, so there's some stupid answers like that. So one of the questions. There's another one I got abnormally quickly. What threw me at first was that he was using a yellow pen for no apparent reason, and he started drawing what it was 3 letters, and he started drawing what looked like a sun. And then I realised it was a person's head, and it was their spiky hair that was the sun. But I then realised there was a fist, and a fist going towards a face, and I was like, looks like he's going to hit him. Hit. So I just typed in hit and got it, and everyone else was like, how the hell did you get that? I don't know, I just sort of logicked it through. 3 letters, looks like he's hitting him. I didn't actually say that at the time, I said it afterwards, but because I didn't want to give away the answer to everyone else. I was trying to record it so that we could get any clips from it, just for sharing between ourselves, but so I wasn't paying full attention. So I also kept making typos. That was annoying. One. I type the correct answer in, but then like miss a letter out, or I'd put a bracket at the end by accident where I'd hit the wrong button as I was gone to hit enter. Or I think at one point I hit shift instead of enter. Just stupid mistyping things like that. So I'm not a fast typer. I do most of my typing with one hand. I'm terrible at typing. So, yeah, I kept getting beaten by like a second or two when I'd enter what should have been the correct answer but make a spelling mistake, then someone else would type the correct answer right after me spelling it correctly. Damn it! I'm so close, I should have got that. I gave away so many points because of that. I've done quite well otherwise. We had at one point north and south. So, no, it was north the first time, and he started drawing the compass, and I realised it was compass. It was a compass, but then I thought it was 5 letters. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of the directions. 5 letters is going to be north or south. And I guessed north, but I mistyped it. I got the R and the T the wrong way round or something like that. And again, someone else typed the correct answer before I could correct it, and I was like, I should have got that. I think I got it the next time, but it was south the next time. And again, I mistyped it, but I had time to correct it because the others didn't realise what he was doing at first. Even though he was drawing the same picture, they were like, he can't be doing the same thing. But they started to type north in again. So I typed north, I typed south, but I misspelt it. Fortunately, they were still confused, and I realised the typo, so I managed to correct the typo in time that time. But silly mistakes. I do tend to make a lot of silly mistakes. And apparently I'm getting not good luck on this sandwich either. That first sandwich went so well. Yeah, so we're probably going to be doing some gaming with friends again in a few weeks' time, when the Steam sale was on, coincidentally. I was sort of saying about both things at the same time, and they both happened to be the same weekend. Next weekend we're all free to do it, I believe. It's the same weekend as the Steam sale, so that's handy timing. So we can get some new games and try them out next time we play. Yeah, so next week is Go Fest. Go Tour? Go Tour. Go Tour Unova is the next one. I think the weekend after I've got I think it's Community Day on Pokemon Go. So I'm busy on the Saturday. I could have done something on the Sunday, but one of my other friends is busy. I might stream that day if I feel like it, if I've got something that I want to stream. Don't know if I'll have anything to stream, but no, at the moment. I'll have to see how things are going, what I'm sort of looking into doing. I just have to wait and see. Yeah, and the following week, I don't think I'm doing anything on the Saturday, but I'm now going to be doing some gaming with my friends on the Sunday, assuming that all goes smoothly. So I might spend the Saturday just getting that set up, downloading games, and working out everything we need to do for that. So myself and one other in our group are only gaming on laptops, so not got the top systems possible, but my laptop's fairly good for gaming. So it's a gaming laptop. I don't think his is. I think his is just a sort of multimedia laptop, but it can hold up quite well for gaming. Yeah, I think he's a little concerned that some of the newer games will be a bit too much for his laptop to handle. But his laptop shouldn't be a problem. It's the laptop my other friend's borrowing, my old laptop, that will be a bigger issue. But most of the games we're going to be playing, you can quite easily lower the settings on them, so that wouldn't be an issue. Another game that was brought up that one I was interested in is the Backrooms Escape Together game. I see bits of it. I keep seeing bits of it, but never a full playthrough. I catch them like one puzzle at a time, sort of part of the puzzle, not the full thing. But looks like a lot of fun. So might end up doing that as well. But that one is quite high on graphics. It's got quite good graphics on that one. So. He might struggle graphics-wise. Oh, get this sweaty. my brother's home today, so he's usually out with his carers on a Monday. and as a result the heating's been left on basically all day in order to keep him warm, because he stays on the floor all the time. But as a result, that is making my room rather warm as well. So yeah, I'm getting a bit drained by the heat. And right now, by the lack of shinies. Come on. Am I just being blind and I'm just missing shinies, or are they just not appearing? I saw that just as I hit it. Halfway through my third sandwich. 4 shinies so far is still not bad, so I would like to get a couple of shinies from this sandwich. At least. So that is when it gets annoying, when they're in the wall. I think it was in the wall and dropped off. There's a very good chance I've missed shinies because of that happening. That is an annoying thing about this game, they do have a bit of issue with collision. They can spawn Pokemon where they shouldn't be spawning. Which, yeah, it could have done with a bit more tidying up with that sort of thing, I guess. Oh, excuse me. Oh, this heat is really starting to get to me. I might have to open my window in a minute. It's going to cool down a bit. Have a window open in the cold weather. My room does freeze a bit. But when the heating's on, my room gets very hot. So I've got the sun shining straight on it as well, plus the heating being on. So it's a bit of a nightmare trying to manage the temperature in this room. Parents just don't understand what I'm on about a lot of the time when I'm saying about being hot or cold, when they're the opposite. They're cold when I feel hot, and they're hot when I feel cold. Just because of the way the heating in this house works. They don't really like me talking about things to do with environmental controls, because they're convinced that what they learnt in school is all there is to know about environmental control. Even though I went to uni for study architecture at master's level, I have a master's degree in architecture, we learn about environmental controls in architecture, because we have to design it. I know a lot more than they do about environmental controls, but they will not listen to me. So our house is a mess environmental control wise, because they won't listen. Our main thermostat in our house is located in our hallway. Our hallway is right by our front door. When they bring my brother in, usually we have a porch which usually would act as a buffer space to stop cold air, or stop the heat from getting out when the door's open. You'd open one door at a time, so you only lose a little bit of heat at a time. But because of my brother, we have his wheelchair to get through, so we have to leave the doors open while we're getting him in, so all the heat goes out. We lose heat very quickly when the front door's opened. So our hallway gets very cold very quickly, which is very bad for thermostats. So usually you would not leave your thermostat in a hallway because of that, or near an opening door because of that. Likewise, you wouldn't leave it in a kitchen because it gets too hot. You want to leave it in a space that is average, not getting heated by any additional sources, not getting cooled by any additional sources. And yet, they refuse to put it where I suggest. Downstairs we have our kitchen, which doesn't have any sort of lobby space on it, so if you open the back door, it gets cold. As soon as they're doing cooking, it gets hot. So, it's all over the place temperature-wise. So that's a bad place to put the thermostat. That's where they decided to move it to, just temporarily, just to see if they could fix things that were not going right with the thermostat. Which I've been telling them for ages what the problem is, it's where it's located. So they started moving it. Did they move it where I suggested? No. I suggested moving it to the living room, our lounge. Because that does not directly open out onto a front door, an external door. It's enclosed, it's not too hot, not too cold, it's a neutral sort of middle space in our house. And yet they have not once tried to put it in there. They've put it in 2 different places in our hallway. One by our dining room, which goes into our kitchen, so kitchen diner space, and one right next to the front door. Both locations are terrible for a thermostat to be. I think it's currently in our kitchen. I'm not entirely sure. They might have moved it again. Last I saw it, it was in our kitchen, which is a bad place to have it. The only other places downstairs that they could put it is the living room or my brother's bedroom or bathroom, which they're not good places to have it either way. So basically the only logical place they could still try it is the living room. But they refuse to put it in the living room because that's where I suggested it. I'm pretty sure is their reasoning. And I'm pretty sure they just don't want to admit when I'm right. So they're wasting all this heat constantly. And they could just so easily avoid the issue. Oh. Let's get this way. I've been checking around the back of that rock. Yeah, they do not like listening to me about that sort of thing. Because they're convinced they know right. See, that looks like it's got a tint of pink on it, but it's not. It's lighting. No, it's not burping. Why am I start burping? Cheese on toast for lunch. Might be the barbecue sauce I had on that. Need to burp. Anyway. Yeah, having doing some game with friends is always fun. Look forward to doing that again in a couple of weeks. I usually do an edit of our gaming sessions, but I'm not. I'll probably still do golf from this week, but I'm not too sure about doing a highlight video for Scribble. Partly because it was just done in browser, and I had to figure out how to. So I had to set up Steam to not Steam, OBS to record it. Because I was doing game capture rather than window capture. And a bit awkward. But, I recorded some of it, but it's just the issue of my browser window showing too much as I'm doing it. It's like, I don't really want to make a video of this. I mean, the actual gameplay isn't really great for highlights because you sort of got to show the whole sort of puzzle, which we went through a lot of puzzles, or the words and the drawings. So we'll have to go through. There's quite a lot of them, and if I just show the whole thing, it's there's a shiny. Almost jumped off. Don't you dare make a break for that edge. They are suicidal, these stupid things. That was clearly going for the edge. It's two now that's trying to make a break for it. I'll probably do a highlight video of the golf, because it gets to a point where we're playing golf that we just start sabotaging each other. It's less me, more my friends, but they always do it. if they're not winning, they're sabotaging. So it's funny when then they're trying to sabotage me, but I'm still keeping a lead, or building more of a lead, because they're wasting so many shots. Some holes I just struggle with anyhow, which not good, but quite often I sort of bounce back, and if I do well at the start, I do badly at the end. So they usually have chances to catch up with me if they actually play properly, but they just start messing around and sabotaging. So it's like, do they really need to sabotage me? They could just sort of play the game properly and try and actually catch up. Okay, you've not been able to catch up for a couple of holes, but those have been easy holes, so when you look at the end of the thing and you see that it's like a par 6 or something like that, it's like, yeah, it's like, do you really need to be attacking me? This is going to be hard enough as it is. A couple times they started sabotaging each other and ended up knocking each other in. It was quite funny to watch, because part of what I do is that I just go ahead of them, because none of us can ever properly remember how to do each hole, so they wait for the first person to go, work out if their line worked, and then adjust their line accordingly. Which is fair enough. But if you leave yourself later, you also have other people hitting you, because we have collision turned on. And that's where the sabotage comes in. So, but by going first, I can get to the hole. If I can remember roughly how the hole works, I'm usually fairly close to getting it through. And yeah, it's not too bad. But I tend to get into the hole and then wait around for them. But because I'm recording, I get to see all of them playing their shots, so I can get some funny footage from it. So I'll make some clips, or highlight videos, just to share between ourselves. So I still mean to ask them if they're interested in me sort of sharing them online, sort of publicly. So currently they're listed as private. But so some of the jokes they make at times, I'm kind of glad I cut out, because even if I do make those clips public, do I want some of those jokes in the video? Probably not the best idea. Oh yeah, that was it. Just sort of thinking about inappropriate jokes. The hit clue. So all I had was a fist and a face to go from, and then it sort of showed sort of the arm and the motion lines and everything to show the hit going on, and when the others still couldn't get it, he added man and woman to labels to the drawing, so it was the man hitting the woman, and I was like, that's inappropriate. That really didn't need that, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't help the others get that anymore. It's just that's the sort of stupid, inappropriate jokes they come up with. it's not the only stupid, inappropriate jokes they come up with. Some are even worse than that, but that's a safer example that I can give at this moment. There was one clue. I'm not even going to repeat what I said, but they started drawing it, and the only thing I don't even remember if we even got the answer, but the only thing I could possibly think of was inappropriate, but it fit. It was the right number of letters. I think what letters, because it slowly reveals the letters, what letters we had at the time fit, and yeah, I figured I might as well guess it. Just surely they won't do that, but I might as well check it. And we all had a laugh that I was the one that actually guessed it. They're like, Jason, you can't say that. I was like, that's the only thing I could think of. And it's like, based on the drawing, it's a fair guess. It's like, true. That is what it looked like they were drawing. But I don't think any of us got that question. It's like, what the hell were you supposed to be drawing there? One of the questions, the answer was Community. And he tried to draw the TV show Community. And I was like, I would never have got that ever. TV show Community. He was trying to draw it, which I don't even know if anyone could have identified Community from that drawing. But a couple of times we've ran into issues with where we'd ran out of time to pick our word, because you only have a short period of time to actually pick what word you want to draw. And a couple of times we weren't paying attention and missed our chance to pick, and it gives you one automatically. And some of the ones it gives you are horrible. I think what one I ended up getting was bathrobe. I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to sort something out. And when I looked back at the stream, I was like, oh, I need to pick a word. Oh, and it's picked one for me. Oh, bathrobe. How the hell do I draw a bathrobe? I was like, yeah, well, you know, I can give it a shot. I actually drew a decent bathrobe. It was like two of them got it almost straight away once I'd finished drawing the bathrobe. Last one couldn't get it at all. I even drew a bath and everything to try and give more hints, but it was rather chaotic. Not gonna lie. Oh, I'm definitely going to need to open a window after this sandwich because I am getting rather hot now. So my brother's room is right below me, and they keep it very warm, and all the heat rises, and we have no, sandwich is over. Our insulation in this house is terrible. So I'm just going to quickly stick this into Evolve. Oh, I don't want to forget a move. I want to remember a move. Hyperdrill. Might just pop the loo while I'm at it as well. Should have time for one more sandwich. Oop. Not got a shortage of candies. Alright, I'm going to leave this evolving and quickly pop the loot and then be opening a window. So I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Windows open, and that should start cooling down a bit now. It's getting rather warm. And that was not a shiny 3 segment. Unfortunately, but whatever. Now that's 5 shinies for today, so not too bad. Would have liked a couple more, but... And I hit the wrong button again, and again. Come on, there we go. Crack another sandwich out. Yeah. Crack another sandwich. Pop another save, because I save so much. Picnic. When it's ready. Drop my controller underneath the desk again. Didn't drop it, but I lowered it below the desk. I don't know why this desk blocks control signal. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that there aren't more shiny hunts I can do on the current games easily, other than the Masuda hunting. There is the chain encounters on Sword and Shield, but I don't do those for the same reason I don't do radar hunting. In Let's Go, it's not too bad when I try and do that, because that's quite forgiving. But yeah, I couldn't stand it in the others. So I'm probably just gonna finish up the current shiny hunts and then see what happens with Legends EA. As far as that goes. So I think once I'm done with my current shiny hunts, I should be down to under 100 left to go, which I think is pretty good considering there's over 1,000 Pokemon. And I'm hoping to get most of the remaining ones. I would like it if they could be available in Legends EA. If they're in Legends EA, that will make it a lot easier for me to hunt for them. So once we start getting proper footage, that will make it easier for me to identify them, which ones I can get and which ones I can't. And we're down. So, right. I did have a thought earlier about Tandemaus hunting, because the biggest issue with them is being able to spot the shiny. So with these Dudunsparce, the shiny is a bright pink, so it's quite obvious against the blue that they usually are. But Tandemaus is almost identical. There is a slight colour difference. So if I look properly at them, I can see the difference between them. It is just not easy to spot. But I have seen people talk about using filters on the image to highlight certain colours while shiny hunting to make it easier to spot them. So I'm wondering if I could possibly do that. But as they are so similar, that's going to be tricky to do. That's the problem. So it's like one's cream and one's grey, and it's like they are very pale colours. Might need to enhance colours quite heavily in order to actually see any difference, which probably isn't great. I might have a fiddle about with it at some point. So it's something I can try. You never know, I might get lucky. Something else I was looking into this past week was last week one of my viewers was saying about they were hunting for Dudunsparce in Platinum, I think it was, using the radar in order to get a certain nature one, which gives a better chance of becoming a 3-segment Dudunsparce once it's transferred forward. And that seems strange to me. Feasibly, it could be correct, but I hadn't actually heard about it myself. And to be honest, it seems like a fairly tedious way of doing it. I'm not a fan of radar anyhow, and having to transfer it forward to check each one. I mean, you could do it in bulk, but you're not guaranteed to get one. You might have to then do the whole thing again. But, so radar chaining to start with is not my favourite way of shiny hunting in the slightest. And then having to synchronise to get the right nature and seeing if that works. Didn't really seem appealing to me either way, but I was curious about it, so because they were saying that nature and the 3-segment data used the same code as the data that is used for natures is also used for the 3-segment chance, which seems strange, but feasible. They reused bits of code all the time. It just seemed a bit odd to me when I first heard it, so I've been looking into that a bit. It's right, that is apparently something that does work. So, so usually they wouldn't overlap that much, but reusing unused data, they do. And it just happened that the data that was originally used for natures isn't actually used for natures anymore. It's been moved to another bit of code, and the data that is used for natures was then free. And when you transfer them forward, rather than rearranging the data, they just moved the nature into its new location and left the existing data as it was. Which means that the data that was used for natures is now free and is now used for the 3-segment odds. Just because it's never been used, not been used for anything else, so why not? And say if you have a specific nature, apparently that does give you a better chance at getting a shiny 3-segment. 3-segment in general, if you're not doing shiny. Which, that seems like could work, so it seems feasible, but it's just I have no interest in doing radar hunts, because I know I would spend so long on them. So I'm quite happy just running around in circles looking for them like this. Hopefully get a couple more shinies from this sandwich. 5 is still better than last time. 5 is definitely better than last time. Ideally, I would have liked to have gotten about 8, 2 per sandwich, as this is currently still lower than my running average. considering how my luck's been, this is better than it has been. So. Just gotta keep trying. Still looking for work if I can. But there really is terrible stuff about them, terrible jobs. It's the only things you can find. It's like, do you drive an HGV? No, don't want to. Do you know how to drive a forklift? No. Might be fun, but don't really want to go through the hassle of learning to drive a forklift. Do you want to do cleaning? No. With my allergies, I'd probably be a mess. I'm not that good at cleaning anyhow. Do you want to... manual labour? It's like, no, allergies, asthma, not good for manual labour. It's just... outside job? No, hay fever. You want to work with animals? No, allergy to animals. There's there's a lot of the jobs you see listed are just jobs for people with experience in the field already. It's like, well, that instantly rules me out. Might be worth putting out another batch of CVs to architecture practices, but it's just the whole industry is just in such a mess at the moment. I do like working in architecture. I would like to get back to architecture at some point. I'd like to be utilised better than I was at my last practice. As good a practice it was to work for, I did feel kind of underutilised. I was sort of the new guy the whole time I was there. Even after like 6 years, I was still the new guy because no one else joined. So that's just how it goes. But because I was the new guy, they just gave me all the sort of odd, shitty jobs, basically. They just had me redrawing things, and they started to give me a bit more towards the end, but I think that's because they were just running out of other things for me to do. So we designed too much in too short a space of time. We were rushing out jobs cheap, which, because we were rushing them out so quick, we weren't actually getting as much money for them, which is stupid. So it got us a lot of work, but didn't get us a lot of money, is the problem. We weren't spending that much time on each project. That wasn't really my place to sort of question that sort of thing. So that's basically part of the issue with the government and all the crap they've been pulling on us the past few years. You know, one bad decision from the government after another. It all stacks up, and it's sort of come to a head at this point. Architecture isn't the only place that's been affected by it. But most people are aware of the sort of housing situation. House prices are too high. People don't want to buy the houses at the moment because they're too expensive. That's exactly the same issue that architecture has. Because the houses aren't selling, they're not building any new ones until they've sold the old ones. Less houses being built, less work for architects. Almost missed. Where are the shinies? I got off to such a good start. That's just how shiny hunting goes. So it's hit and miss. The unexpectedness of it is fun. So it's disappointing when you don't get a shiny, but it's really fun when you get loads. So a friend of mine's been playing through Scarlet at last lately, so I think he started it and then got bored, so he's restarted it and is now doing a type challenge. I think he was doing poison types this time. Yeah, I didn't actually realise he does have the DLC. So he never played the DLC before. He got it, as it turns out, but he just never played it. He got bored of the game before he got that far. Well, I don't think he actually got bored of the game. I think he just rushed through it and just didn't do a lot of the side quest stuff. He just done the bare minimum. He has a bad habit of doing things in completely the wrong order as well. So he was going off facing the first gym that he came to, and then if that was the wrong gym, he'd just keep going at that one gym until he beat it. And then he'd be really over-leveled after beating that gym. I think it was the Psychic gym he ended up at. He managed to make his way through the cave to the Psychic gym, but was so under-leveled for it. He spent ages levelling up to try and beat it. Check the shinies up here. There's a right up platform here. Let's just go. Does that go? Let's go back to the start. Yeah, I can reconnect to that cave. I never remember the way around here. This is routes I don't usually go down. But yeah, anyway, my friend's never actually done the DLC, so he's... I was saying to him the other day that it's really weird, once you can fly, it's really weird trying to get around without flying. Because one of the biggest complaints that he had about the game was that you couldn't fly before. And I don't think he realised that you could actually fly once you get the DLC. Got to complete the DLC to do it, but I think. But I also told him to keep an eye out for shinies, but he complains he can never tell what a shiny is. He's not as familiar with them as I am. So I'll notice something that looks odd, and oh, that's a shiny. I do that quite often. Just something catches my attention at the corner of my eye that doesn't seem right, and turns out to be a shiny. Which I would love to happen right now, if the game is going to be kind to me, which it doesn't look like it will be. Yeah, he's now playing through that, so I think he's done the main stories line stuff. He's now going to go on to the DLC stuff. I'm kind of expecting some comments from him about some aspects of the DLC that are just odd. yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to be speaking with him again next, so we sometimes chat a bit online, but I'll probably message him on Thursday about Pokemon Day. So he's never played Legends Arceus. It's really, really weird that he's never played it before, but even though that seems like the sort of game he'd like, and he plays Pokemon games, he just never played Legends Arceus. And he was like, oh, but you don't have trainer battles. Well, you do, you just don't have as many because you're just fighting wild Pokemon, because they've got all the new capture mechanics, which you get instead. You can still battle wild Pokemon. I've never been able to convince him. I've shown him a bit of gameplay, but so unless you're sort of playing it for yourself, and when you get that shiny jingle, that's just it's a really good part of Legends Arceus, just being alerted to the presence of a shiny. But yeah, I wonder what they'll be doing with that this time. So will it just be more of the same Legends style stuff, or will they be experimenting more with it? So I'm pretty sure Legends Arceus itself was more of an experiment leading up to Scarlet Violet, with the sort of open world spawns and everything design. The confined regions were a lot better than the, or they functioned a lot better than the wide open regions of Scarlet Violet. Yeah, will they be experimenting with something else, or will they be just doing the same? It's hard to really tell. Maybe they'll announce a new game that's something different as well. So they do sort of periodically try different spin-offs. So some of them have sort of died off over time, others appear to be sticking around a bit longer. So will they announce a new game alongside Legends EA? That's a bit of a mystery. What will it be? Will it be an experiment of something that will be featured in an upcoming main series game? Who's to say? It's unlikely they'll announce a new main series game. Sort of not counting Legends EA as a main series game, but we already know that's almost certainly being announced. But yeah. Right. Yeah, I've got another 15 minutes before I've got to end, which my summons will be finishing before then, so I'll be finished in time to end. And unfortunately it looks like I'm probably not going to get any more shinies from this so much. Or any shinies from this so much, because I've not got any from this one yet, again. Which is really annoying. The first two streams doing this hunt, I got loads of shinies. And then I got 2. Now 5. 5's better. But I was hoping to average like 8 in a stream. And I'm just not getting it. I'm just not seeing the shinies. Sort of a pink light again. My brain sees Dunsparce and pink and just associates the two together. It's not that. It's not a shiny. It's just a bit of light. Yeah, so... I wonder what events... sorry, what events will be revealed for the Pokemon... Well, we've got bits of events revealed for the Pokemon Day tie-in. So we've got the growth event on Pokemon Sleep. Pokemon Go has the tour this weekend anyhow, so we might get a giveaway of something for that, but hard to really tell. Will they announce anything for Pokemon Go? Don't really know. I think Pokemon Go's sort of been a bit of a letdown lately, so... No, their events have not been great. So I don't get anything from the main series. They might do giveaways, they might announce a tie-in event that will be starting alongside the event. So Scarlet and Violet may get an outbreak event or a raid event or something like that. Maybe an update to add some new Pokemon in, maybe? Not really sure. So, will they bother doing anything for Scarlet and Violet? Can't tell. Could they do an update for Legends Arceus? Unlikely, if they've probably been working on Legends ZA instead. So I doubt they'll be doing anything new for Legends Arceus, but you never know. It might just be like a little thing to be added. Just as a sort of tease for the next region. What they could do, potentially, probably more likely in Scarlet and Violet, is the starters. If they show the starters for Legends ZA, they might do an event with the starters appearing. This is possible. Maybe even a giveaway for the starters in their regular forms. So hard to tell what term we'll be using to refer to the region in Legends ZA, because so far we're just referring to it as Kalos. But will it actually be called Kalos? So if we're going to ancient Kalos, will it still be called Kalos? Will it be called something else? Just like Sinnoh became Hisui in Legends Arceus. So will we get a new region name? Don't know. And another possibility for giveaway, that they could reveal a Pokemon to be featured in the new game and give that away, or do that as a raid event in Scarlet and Violet. So themed to the Legends ZA announcement. So I'm guessing most of the Direct will be focused on Legends ZA. There is something they might feature separate from the video games. They did announce a collaboration with Aardman for some sort of animation that's coming next year, I think. Maybe even the year after. It's not coming out particularly soon, but they've done a very short teaser for it when it was announced, but they haven't given anything else. So could be we could get some more details about that, like what exactly it is. So we don't know if it's a film, shorts, a series, so it could be anything at this stage. Some sort of detail about that could come out. So some stuff they might announce that's just not really worth announcing. So they do sometimes announce things that we already sort of know about, or they could just announce in a regular social media post, which Makes the whole... I think it's just used to give them something else to talk about in the Pokemon Presents. But... don't know. So it's stuff that could happen. TCG Pocket might get something. So we've got the Dark event on at the moment. So we could get something else for that. So that event's focused around Weavile, which... I've sort of been wondering if some of the events that we've had lately could be connected to Legends ZA. But so this Dark event doesn't actually have any promos, as far as I'm aware, associated with it. I haven't actually checked, but I don't think it's got promos associated with it. If it is, it's just fairly generic stuff. But the featured Pokemon is Weavile, which is a normal card. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's not a promo. It's just one of the regular cards. Usually for these events they have promos as the sort of top cards, but this one didn't. So it seems a bit odd. But yeah. Weavile, could that be something to do with Legends ZA? Possibly, but possibly not. So we could see another regional variant of Weavile maybe, and that's a hint of that. Don't know. Maybe the Dark type is a hint towards something. So could it be something to do with the Dark type Pokemon? I mean, I do have a theory that Hooper's going to be involved. So Hooper is part Dark type. Yeah, Hooper's a Dark type that gets a bit of resistance from Dark type itself, from its own Dark typing. So possibly Dark type relating to Hooper? Don't know. And the sandwich is ended. Not a single shiny from that sandwich. That is disappointing. That's two sandwiches that have been a complete bust. One that done really well. that was annoying. One sandwich done really well. One sandwich just got nothing. So two sandwiches got nothing. One sandwich got one. So oh, that one's got a joyful. Did I not check the ones from last week? I've checked some of these. Some of these I've marked up. Yeah, I got charismatic mark on one of them. Oh, another one of the mark I marked. Oh, rowdy mark. Got a rowdy shiny Dudunsparce. And joyful and stuff. Got quite a few marks on them, but some quite interesting marks on some of them. Yeah, just a shame I haven't got any 3 segments yet. Numbers are really low lately, so 5. I mean, that is sort of on track for what I was getting from my shiny hunts before, but from one like this, I was expecting to be higher. So the first 2 getting like 8 and 10, was it? That was really good luck. But I'm probably not going to save this now, but because I didn't get a shiny from that sandwich, so I'll reset it. But yeah, so I guess that's going to be that. So I'll be signing off in a sec. So a bit disappointing, but not as bad as last time. Not as bad as last time. So stay positive. Yeah, so I should be back on Wednesday, probably doing some random shiny hunting on Legends Arceus ahead of what we assume to be more news for Legends ZA. So it's going to be in aid of that. So to hype up the new Legends game. So I don't think I've had any viewers that I've noticed today, which is unfortunate, but so not a huge stream, and I'm doing a fairly mundane thing. And yeah, so I noticed my views on past videos, my Pikmin videos, would actually get quite a lot of views, but so they were sort of quite current. So I did get many viewers on stream, but the videos did actually get quite a few views. Because I upload everything to YouTube, so this will be up on YouTube later tonight. I actually realised I can edit out the blank start. At the start of each stream, I don't say anything until I get a notification that the stream is live. So that's why the VODs always start with me just being quiet or just doing other things. So I realised I can actually cut them out just on YouTube itself, which is quite handy. Because I realised I'd set the disconnect protection on Twitch after I had a dropout in one stream. So I'd set that up and just had the head in hands screenshot for like a minute or something, a minute and a half at the end of my video, which I want to get rid of, and I realised I could just edit it out on YouTube. And I can edit out the start as well, so I can edit out that quite a bit at the start. So I will probably be doing that starting from this VOD, so I won't bother going back over all of them. But for this one, I will probably get that done tonight. That probably won't get as many views as my Pikmin ones, but it says the Pikmin one was more relevant. So until I get new games to play, so most of my games are just old ones that I want to catch up on. Is the issue. So I sort of, once I get some new games to play, that'll be something else to do, and I think I'm hoping that'll get more viewers. But that's basically Legends EA and the Switch 2 is probably going to be the next time I get any sort of properly new games, because I tend to get games when they're on sale, which is when they're not new. So the only games I get when I'm in a hurry to play them are like Pokemon and like new Nintendo games. So not the best choices to stream in retrospect, but I enjoy streaming this, so it's just an outlet for me. So, but anyway, so live again on Wednesday. Probably playing Legends Arceus, unless I change my mind before then. But chances are it will be Legends Arceus, doing some random hunts. And I will be watching the Pokemon Presents on Thursday. I will not be streaming it. I don't see the point in streaming it. I will not be commenting on it at the time. I'll probably comment on it the next week. So next Monday I'll be playing this again, doing the same hunt. I'll probably comment on it then. I'll be talking about it then. But yeah, so if you want to hear me talk about my thoughts on the Pokemon Presents, tune in then over on Twitch. So my VODs will be up on YouTube as well shortly after. Well, I say shortly after. Later this evening, by the time it gets transferred over, I get everything sorted out. But anyway, until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you when I see you, basically. So.